Alrighty, y'all. Thank y'all so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about the AI system. We're going to be talking about ChatGPT. It's kind of blown up in the last 2 months now, and it's pretty scary, crazy, kind of incredible what you can do with it. With every new invention, there's amazing benefits with it. And just lots of convenience that we can gain from it. But then on the other side, with this weird, creepy, dark side of this AI thing, it can be super demonic and very creepy and used against us. But anyway, we have a video, a very excellent video. I stumbled upon it today, and I was going to make a video about ChatGPT, and I was like, I cannot beat this video because this video that Prep Stutters did was incredible.
It's excellent.
So we're just going to watch half of her video. We will leave the rest of the video and the link for it in the description down below so you can watch the video in its entirety down there. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the video. We're going to just watch the first 6 minutes of it, and then you will kind of, if you don't really know what ChatGPT is, she'll kind of fill you in on it.
Sounds good. Let's get started. After my screen wakes back up.
Today we're bringing to you a very special and an imperatively important episode of Prep Stutters that I want you to pay attention to. And I want you to share this with friends that need to hear this message. This is important. Now, let's get right into this. There's something that was made mainstream just a few months ago in November of this past year. So as we tape this, we're only about 2 months away from when this went public and immediately went viral, if you want to call it that. It is already a $20 billion company. Can you even comprehend that? Within 5 days, it was as popular as Facebook. And Facebook took like 5 years to reach the level of use that this is getting.
Not sure how they can even give an evaluation to that, since to my knowledge it's currently not generating revenue. So that's just interesting. I wonder how they determine that metric.
What, $28 billion?
How it already has a $20 billion valuation. I understand how they throw numbers at stuff all the time.
True. Yeah.
But to my knowledge, from what I understand, it's not currently generating revenue that I'm aware of.
No, I think it's all free right now.
Like the OpenAI is free. Yeah. So it's just interesting. But if it currently has, I'm not questioning that it would have that value.
Yeah.
But once it starts to be able to generate revenue, that would probably exponentially explode as well.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is ChatGPT. If you've heard of that, or if you've heard of AI, which is artificial intelligence, that's what that stands for. ChatGPT is going to change and is already changing the face of everything that we're doing on this earth. It is revolutionary. It is bigger than the invention of the internet or the light bulb or the telephone. And it is already affecting you right where you are today. In fact, in the last several years, if you've Googled something, you will get a myriad of answers, and most of those are written by people, which is good, but increasingly a number of those.
What's a little bit interesting about that as well, did we ever talk, I think you talked about it in a video about the shrinking internet and shrinking Google search, and how you search for something, you'll get, millions and millions of results, but then as you sift through it, you find out that it's almost exclusively repetitive, and there's only about 20 to 40 answers that are ever given, even if you go all the way to page 31 or whatever.
Which actually was weird. What's actually happened recently is a lot of people were making videos about that, and then they must have changed it, because now you can go, I've been able to get to like page 100 or more.
Oh, okay.
Now, so they went back, but it's still very repetitive. You don't get to Bob's blog post about whatever. It still seems like it's a copy and paste type of situation. So it might even say there's 300-400 pages there, but it just seems like all the same.
A lot of repetitive.
Yeah, repetitive sites.
Which is interesting when you figure out that they are curating internet searches through these curated searches like Google and all these different alphabet organizations. It's real interesting when you overlap all of this ChatGPT stuff and also the AI and the algorithms. You kind of get a sense and an idea how, one, the creation of search, just like I think it was one of Google's, it was a CEO or something, it said basically it's going to tell you what to search for. And in essence, if they restrict what you can find, then it basically tells you.
Answers to your questions are coming from artificial intelligence. And you might be tipped off when you see right in the middle of an article, something doesn't look quite right. But now it is even more intelligent. It even has more resources to deal with, to come up with how it's interacting with you and having conversations with you that are changing everything. Let me just talk you through a few things. I'm going to put the links down below this episode so that you can see where to go to play with it some yourself. You can log in and create a free account, but interestingly, they do require that you at least give your phone number. Now, I want you to think about the last few years, and every time you needed to text message someone and you just spoke right into your phone, hey, text Tracy and tell her to meet me for coffee at Applebee's at 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Every one of those texts that you have spoken into your phone has been recorded. Your voice, not just the words, but your voice has been recorded. In fact, you can go back in the history and look and listen to all those text messages that you've recorded, or when you wanted to navigate somewhere. It's recording everywhere you go, everything you say, and it can even record you when it's turned off. I want you to just think about that. I want you to think about the free email servers that you use, especially like Gmail and Yahoo and anything like that. They are not free except for in monetary money, but they are entirely expensive because they get to record every single word you've ever typed. Everything you've received and everything that has gone out from you through those email servers is being recorded. Now, imagine artificial intelligence being able to pull from all of those emails and everything that you've ever posted, either through a text message or through Facebook and social media on Instagram, how many times your face has been recorded online. Feed that all into one big system and you have something that looks more and more like a beast to me. Now, I am in ChatGPT right at this moment. I'll put the link down below where you can go to it yourself, but it is just chat.openai.com will get you there. You can ask it anything under the sun, and instead of like Google where it will
gets so much traffic, it's highly probable that when you go there, it won't be accessible.
Because I tried today and you couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't
get on there.
I tried several times over the past several months.
Yeah.
Not several months. Over the last 2 months, I've tried to get on there several times and just haven't been able to get on there. Yeah, the volume is staggering, and I know friends and acquaintances and associates that have used it, and it's pretty. It really does what they say it can do. I mean, it really does it.
It's super creepy.
Pull back 1,437 options of websites that you can choose from to go to. No, it just feeds you the answer straight away. And you can say, no, I didn't like that. Tell me it a different way. Or, but what about this? And it will interact back with you. It remembers what you've said, what you've asked it, what answers it's given. So I've asked it a few things. I've asked it to write wedding vows or write a poem, and it does. I have asked it to tell me what a recipe is, and it does perfectly. Outlines the recipe with bullet points of every ingredient and every direction I need for that recipe to be complete. It can do a myriad of different things. It can write computer code and it gets it correctly. Can you imagine? It can correct bad computer code, so it will automatically put in jeopardy those who write code for a living because it can do it better than humans. It can write songs, and there are already copyright issues and a huge tither going on in the song industry because now you can write a song with artificial intelligence that you didn't write at all, that you own the copyrights to. You can use that and no one will ever know the difference. It could even write an entire book. You wouldn't need a ghostwriter. You don't need to be talented or even know how to spell right yourself. And it can write it for whatever audience you choose. So you could say, I want this book to be written for a 5th grader or for a PhD Harvard graduate. It is incredible in what it is intuitive in its ability to interact with you on. It can write movie scripts or plays with not just characters and plots, but scenarios and backgrounds and backstory and nuance to it. And it spits it out in about 3 seconds. It can write term papers. And so, of course, right now it's a huge problem because as university professors are not even able to.
All right, so we'll stop it there.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll link it down below. You can watch it uninterrupted.
There's lots more that she goes into with
the whole deep fake aspects of it.
The deep fake thing gets really creepy because, like, I don't know how the governments are going to use that. I have a feeling that they're going to use that in some way.
I have a feeling that they may have already used that.
Or that too. Yeah, because it would just be really creepy if, I don't know, I'm thinking of like a court case happening. Exactly. And then they're like, well, you were actually supposedly caught on camera doing it like this or saying this thing. And you're like, dude, it's not even me. But they're like, but look, it looks like you. Yeah. It walks like you. It talks like you. And you're, man, I don't know. It just seems like it can go so many different ways.
It can be very nefarious.
Yeah, some things you're like, dude, this is awesome. It can write computer code for me. I personally don't know how to write computer code. I don't really want to, but I know it's very awesome if you know how to because you can do so much stuff with that.
But these tasks that it will do, will obviously, if they can work in the way that they claim that they can work, they will put an enormous amount of people out of business. I mean, it will eradicate jobs of different types of writing jobs, different types of coding jobs. And I personally know somebody that writes code and they're having problems with it, and they put it in the GPT and they said, finish this like this. And no, what they said is they said, write this code to do this.
No way.
And it wrote it, and then they wanted it to, and then it responded and it said, oh, how do you want me to fix this problem? Or how do you want this to go at the end?
The creepy part is that it responds to you like it's
and he said, oh, make it do this at the end, and and he had been trying to write it himself, and it finished it, and it worked. And
because that's the crazy thing about code, because I have a buddy that does a lot of coding, and he was doing some coding for me, and the crazy tricky part about coding is that you write a piece of code, right, for whatever type of software or whatever you're trying to do. Well, then there's like 12 different bugs, but then you have to chase down all these little bugs, fix them all, and I mean, it takes hours and hours and hours. But then when you have something where you tell it to do something, and within, how long did he tell you how long it took?
I mean, it takes minutes.
It has to take
and sometimes it takes seconds. You know, I took now I'm ancient, and my programming teacher. Let's see, they were probably using C+ or whatever back then when I was in college. But my programming teacher, engineering teacher, he was ultra ancient and old school. So we were using Fortran 77. And for our final, we had to work together as a group, and we had to write this program, and it had these different advanced loops that our professor had written. We had to insert them into the program, and I never could get the thing to work. But now, I mean, these kids that are programming in college, well, that's obsolete, because if they can just tell it what to write.
What to do.
Yeah, it's wild. So this is very disruptive technology. There are advantages to it.
Massive.
There are massive convenience to it. But every time there is convenience, there's a massive amount of loss of liberty.
And she gets into the whole thing with warfare and things like that.
She asked the AI, how can this be abused? And it was very interesting and forthtelling and revealing. One of the podcasts I listened to, Grand Theft World, Richard Grove asked the chat bot some very interesting questions, and it answered it very thoroughly.
What was one of them?
I'm trying to remember the topic right now, but it was incredible. It was regarding, some things that people consider.
Well, the one thing that it told her about, like, one of the downsides of itself was that it was going to cause people to lose their jobs and stuff like that, which is obvious.
Yep. Basic, and it will lead to basic universal income and all this stuff, metaverse. And Elon Musk was a large stakeholder in OpenAI, but he sold to Microsoft in 2018. So Microsoft kind of owns this thing. Yeah. And so now the big get bigger, and and basically they're a greater store of data. Whoever owns that is getting all of it. So it just makes it that much more nefarious and interesting. But just something to be aware of.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is why, as technology progresses, and nobody is saying to be a Luddite or not take advantage of technology, not to take advantage of electricity and gas-powered motors and all these different things. But I think one of the solutions as the world becomes more synthetic is to become more organic and get back to a basic, simple life, and get your hands in the dirt and grow your own food and be your own person and interact with real human beings in real life, in real time, in your parallel economy, in your parallel community, and work on and work out your sustainability. And when we say sustainability, people talk about self-reliance and all that stuff, and that definitely discounts and limits God and in a major way. But it's just like with our cows and the fact that we need to buy hay, and we've got lots of comments of, well, this is why you should grow your own hay and be self-sufficient. Well, we've grown our own hay in the past, and our cow mentor and we experienced, like, you can either grow hay or you can grow cows.
Yeah, you kind of need land to grow hay.
You need lots of land to grow hay.
The thing is like you've said, we tried to grow hay and cows. You can't do that on the same piece of property unless you have
mulberries. Which is what I'm working on. I'm working on a fodder system.
True.
I'm cultivating many different types of mulberries to determine which are the best fodder for cows, as far as like quickest growing dwarf shrub variety that are highly propagatable that I can plant in like food hedges. And so we are working on that. But that being said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a community and a parallel community and a parallel economy where you exchange services and goods.
And I mean, even if we're talking about community, even if you had like the community hay meadow or whatever too, you could do something like that if you all wanted to go together on 100-acre hay meadow or 50-acre hay meadow, and then you all would
you're not. The reality is, the reality of self-reliance is you're not going to do it on your own by yourself.
Absolutely.
You need community. You need people. You need other people. Just sociologically, psychologically, on every level, right?
Yeah.
The AI chatbot is not going to be your friend. No. It's not going to be your spouse or whatever. And this is what they want. They want to put you in a Funko Pop pod and feed you Brawno or whatever the Slurpee was in Wally or whatever. And that's the way they want you to be isolated. They want you to be a synthetic, artificial, social media, metaverse,
Yep.
fat
Yeah.
slob with myocarditis. That's what they want. And they want to give you a pill for every ailment.
Yeah. It's very true.
Some petrochemical, concoction that's, genetically modified or whatever. But so that was anything else, Matt?
No, that was it. That was it for today's video. If you like today's video and you want to support the channel, go check out TheTexasBoys.com. We got coffee and honey over there, and soaps and teas, all types of stuff over there. Go check it out. T-shirts. That's one of the best ways to support the channel. Also, subscribing and liking today's video also helps.
Also, subscribe to our Rumble. We are on Rumble.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask us that. We post to Rumble. We really like Rumble. Our Rumble channel is growing, so definitely go over and subscribe to our Rumble, and we will be doing exclusive live streams over there as well.
Yeah. So, thank you all so much, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
See y'all.